Hello and welcome to the Weird Record Club. So, yesterday I went down to the flea market in Hebden Bridge to see what I could find, and I picked up a handful of cheap singles, when it's two or three for £1, including some really interesting and nice weird ones. So we'll talk about some of these today. So, first one, which is really nice to find, was the Martian Hop by the Randells, from 1963. So this was one of a slew of novelty pop hits connected with outer space and so on, and you get the sort of crazy sped up voices of the Martians and some wacky, for its time, crazy sounding space effects at the beginning. I think they ripped it off from another record, I can't remember which one, but anyway, this one's a really fun 1960s alien rock and roll song. So nice I think they were a one-hit wonder as well. They couldn't really match the brilliance of the Martian Hop with whatever came next. Here's a strange one. You might be wondering why I've got a copy of the Muppets album up behind me. Well, of course, I remember my brother getting this for Christmas way back in the 1970s, and the whole family loved it, loved the Muppet Show and this album. One of the songs on there is this one. So this is the original by Piero Umiliani from '69, I think, and it was from a Swedish film. The song is the one that goes mana 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 mana. So made famous by the Muppets, of course, who I think they even had a hit. It got into the charts in this country. But anyway, that's the original bizarre hit created from very little. Now next, I was surprised to learn that this guy, Don Lang, and his Frantic Five was from just down the road here in Halifax. So this song, The Witch Doctor, so by the way, he was a trombonist from Halifax who was in a number of big bands, and I think he was in the 6-5 special, the TV show. So in this really fun novelty record, the narrator of the song, Don Lang, I guess, is unlucky in love, so he consults a witch doctor, and the witch doctor gives him this spell that he can use to entice the girl of his dreams. And do you want to know what the spell is? You do, don't you? He goes like this: ooh ah, bing bang, walla walla bing bang, ooh ah, bing bang, walla walla bing bang. That's the chorus anyway, and you get the same sort of novelty, ridiculously sped up voices as well, the sort of David Bowie laughing gnome. But this is from 1958. So anyway, this is a lovely little novelty record about witch doctors and from a local lad as well. So I had to get this one. Speaking of local things for local people, this was recorded live at the Amsterdam bar in Huddersfield. So Huddersfield is just a short hop over the moor from where I am. So Kim Cordell, I'd never heard of this before. The title is We're Having a Gangbang. So I thought that looked like it might be an interesting record. Does it have a date on it? Can't see a date on it. I'm guessing it's from the 70s though. Looking her up, Kim Cordell was like a pub sing-along type singer, and she released a number of pub themed sing-along albums. The B-side is You'll Never Walk Alone, which does sound like a kind of a bog standard pub sing-along. The A-side, We're Having a Gangbang, does indeed seem to be about a gang bang. We're having a gangbang. It's done in sort of a Cockney style. It sounds a bit like the Small Faces might do. Lazy Sunday Afternoon. We're having a gangbang. We're having a ball. We're having a gangbang against the wall. Seems to be the chorus. So they have a naughty novelty hit, I guess, from the 70s. But I haven't seen that label before. Arnold Records, recorded live in Huddersfield. There we go. Well, this next one, it's not particularly weird. It was a big hit in the 60s, one of the Rolling Stones' best singles, and that's Jumping Jack Flash. the B-side is probably one of the last psychedelic era, one of the last psychedelic bits and pieces that the Stones did, and I think it might have even been for the Satanic Majesties session. But the reason why John, I don't know, the reason why I'm showing it anyway is whoever owned this single before me, John, who wrote his name there, seems to have found these little stamps of Brian, Bill, Charlie, Mick and Keith, and stuck them to the singles to make a kind of little homemade picture sleeve. So I thought that was quite nice. Anyway, you may remember this teddy bear by Red Sovine. So Red Sovine he specialised in talking country songs, talking trucker country songs, so really specific genre. And this was a hit all over the world. When was it? 1981. So, by the way, if you can hear some jingling in the background, it's me cat playing with his balls. So anyway, this was a big hit in the UK, but I guess it was in the US as well. And it sort of cashed in on the CB radio craze at the time. And so it's about, as the song calls him, a young crippled boy who lost his dad, and his only company is talking to people on the CB radio. So very maudlin country spoken trucker song. And that's what he specialised in. Okay. Oh, by the way, there is a sequel to that record where the little cripple boy gets cured, so there is a happy ending. Right, okay. Speaking of crazes, you might remember in the 70s there was a craze for Kung Fu because of David Carradine's TV series, and then Carl Douglas had, of course, that hit with Kung Fu fighting. He did seem to get trapped in that Kung Fu thing because Carl Douglas did a follow-up, which wasn't much of a hit, called Dance the Kung Fu, rather. So, yeah, and it follows in the same vein of sort of a disco Kung Fu related hits with lots of hoo-ha and that kind of thing in it. All right, let's get weird and experimental. I've seen this a few times, but I picked it up with a picture sleeve. Oh Superman by Laurie Anderson. So Laurie Anderson was like a New York, I think, experimental musician, not a pop or rock musician. And this was picked up by John Peel and ended getting radio play and became a surprise hit. I mean, it's very sparse. Most of the backing is just that ha, 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 for about 8 minutes with Laurie with some kind of synth effect on her voice going, "Oh, Superman." Anyway, very strange and an unbelievably odd hit. And it's got some kind of spoken word thing, Walk the Dog, on the B-side. It comes in like a double picture sleeve with some stamps that look like sausage dog or something on the other side. So that is Laurie Anderson. I think that was a big hit anyway in 1981, I think. And finally, you've probably noticed I've got Neil's heavy concept album there, Neil from the Young Ones. So I got a nice picture sleeve copy of his hit single, the Traffic song, Hole in My Shoe. That was a huge hit off the back of the Young Ones TV show. There's the back. I'll show you the label of this as well, because you get Neil sitting there looking serene and glum. Now, although I've already got the album is a great psychedelic comedy pastiche. But the single has a really fun B-side called Hurdy-Gurdy Mushroom Man that isn't on the album, and it's a sort of an amalgam of the Incredible String Band and Leonard Cohen and all that kind of stuff. It's sort of sung in the style of Leonard Cohen. Hurdy-gurdy mushroom man, locked me in a frying pan, and goes on like that with then these sort of boings of juice harks and fluttery penny whistles, a bit like the string band. And it ends a bit like a very cellular song with this kind of big sort of sing-along end with children's choir and everything. So yeah, anyway, that. It just sort of reminds me a little bit of Stan Freberg, the Day-O, the Banana Boat song, where you get the singer arguing with the bongo player. You get quite a lot of that in this record. So I think it's nice to see Nigel Planer carrying on in that groove. Of course, produced by Dave Stewart as well. Anyway, I think we'll definitely do a programme on Neil's heavy concept album. Maybe we'll even do one on the Muppets as well, who knows. But I will sign off with some words of wisdom from Neil himself. The fluffy hair on a polar bear means less to me than a lavatory. See you next time.